Welcome to my wildlife here, week 37. Got my net here with its long handle, and I'm going to try and catch a wasp. It's just a hole just up there. There's a wasp nest up there, and it's been there for a few weeks now. Been meaning for ages to go and try and catch one, so I'm going to go and see if I can catch one to ID what type of wasp they are. Got one. So, got one in here somewhere. There it is. Hopefully I haven't got two. No, I haven't. Just put that away. So, see if I can see what type of wasp it is. It's a, let me just see before I say for certain. Yeah, it's a German wasp, Speckled germanica. Don't know whether you'll be able to remember, there was a wasp nest over in the grill around the other side of the porch here in the front of the manse. Well, it's exactly the same species, a German wasp. So, I'll just let this one go and let them go in. Very soon the queen will die off in this nest. It's actually happened, the nest in the other one, it's already happened, and once that happens, basically the workers are left to their own devices, and they're normally getting fed in the nest, sort of off excretions from the young. Once there's no more young larvae coming through, they're not getting fed, so they're having to sort of go out and fend for themselves in the wider sort of world, and they can get a bit aggressive, and this is why at this time of year a lot of people get stung. It's because basically the wasps, they're getting hungry, they're getting cranky, so that's why at this time of year wasps can get a bit annoying, let's say. So that's the wasps identified. Let's go on with my wildlife here, week 37. Well, I've just emptied the moth trap, and after sort of Saturday to Sunday night's relatively poor turnout, I've got 25, and certainly got more than 6 species which I got on Sunday morning, so that's pretty good. So I'll go and identify them and let you know what I caught. Hoping you'll be able to see the butterfly. I'm going to try to find it on the screen. I've got it actually there. It's a speckled wood. It's somewhere there. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Where is it? Ah, there it is, in the centre of the screen. It's a lovely little butterfly. Speckled wood. You can see where it gets its name. It's quite speckled and it's found in woodland. It's a lovely butterfly you'll often see during the summer and into the autumn. Just spotted this little zebra jumping spider. See it just in where my shadow is pointing. They're cracking little predators. They literally jump on their prey. Beautiful little things. I've come to local cemeteries. I was here in the spring, quite a bit of bat activity, so I just thought I'd come here for a change rather than down by the river. Don't know whether you can hear water in the background, but that's not the river. The river's the other side of where that water is. That water's actually water treatment plant or sewage plant. So I'm here with my trusty bat detector and just turn it on, and there's a bat just flown out right above me. Try to spot where it is. So graveyards and cemeteries are actually really rich in wildlife. So it's always worthwhile coming to have a look, because yeah, it gives you time. It's somewhere that's really quiet and gives you time to think about things, and maybe think about people you've lost as well. But then also to be surrounded by wildlife, it's sort of, I don't know, there's just something, not wanting to quote Elton John, but the circle of life and all that. It's just, yeah, it's really, really great. And there's at least two Soprano Pipistrelles out and about. Probably a lot more. Certainly two that I've seen. So yeah, it's nice just to come out somewhere quiet like this, and just contemplate life, the universe and everything. I'm here in the Free Marquee in the Green, and this week Friday Fun is going to be all about frogs. So Rachel's over there organising a craft activity, making frog masks, and I've got a couple of frogs in the pond. Here they are. So big one there, I think it's a female, and that looks like a male. Could be wrong though. So it'll just be in this tank for just an hour or so, and then I'll be putting them back in the pond garden. Right, here's your frog. Wow, that's a cracking frog. Excellent. Well, I had the moth trap out last night, but I only got this common marbled carpet and this common marbled carpet, and this one wasn't even in the trap, so there was actually only one moth. Oh, there was two moths in the trap, but one of them flew off. I think it was actually another common marbled carpet, judging by the size. I thought it might have been a garden carpet, but it was certainly one of the carpets due to the based on its size and shape, its flight. So not exactly a huge haul, 2 moths, both the same species. Mind you, saying that, 2 moths of the same species is still records that I can add to my list of moths and I can send off. So it still doesn't matter whether it's sort of like, you know, one species, couple of moths of one species, or whether it's a, you know, good haul of several species. It all goes towards, all those records are really important. So when you record wildlife, it's important not just to keep those records to yourself, but to send them off to recording schemes or to local environmental record centres or wherever, so that it can actually be put to good use. Got a couple of common carder bumblebees, one just flown off, a couple of common carder bumblebees flying about here, doing a good job of pollinating as they drink the nectar. I don't know whether I've said before, but bumblebees have smelly feet, basically. That's why you'll sometimes see a bumblebee go towards a flower, almost land and then not land. The reason for that is basically it can smell that there's been a bumblebee, either it or another bumblebee has been there recently, and there's not going to be any nectar in there, and that's it going. So that's why they've got smelly feet, is so that it can help them basically save some energy landing the flower only to find it empty of nectar. But what will happen if a bumblebee stings you? What will happen to the bumblebee? Do you know? How many of you said or thought it'll die because after the bumblebee stings you, it dies? Not true. And that's this week's wildlife myth busting topic. Bumblebees don't have a barbed sting. Honeybees do. Now honeybees, if they sting you, if they sting deep enough and that barb goes in there, they pull out the venom sac and they leave it behind and they die. Bumblebees don't, and there's a they've basically got just a long pointy bit that goes in there. That if you people, I've heard a couple of people say, oh yeah, but I've seen the bumblebees leave the sting behind. What's probably happened there is the bumblebee stung them, went like that, and they've actually squeezed out the innards of the bumblebee, and the sting's been left behind. But that's not what would happen. If a bumblebee, if you just left it to it, it would sting you, fly off, and it can sting you as many times. People say bumblebees can only sting once. No, they can sting you as many times as they want if they still feel threatened. Saying that, I've only ever been stung once by a bumblebee in my life, and that was when I was about 4, 5 maybe, and I knelt on it when I wasn't looking, knelt on some clover, and that was fine. So why the honeybees have a barbed tail, a barbed sting, and the bumblebees don't? Well, it's all to do with numbers. Basically, a honeybee hive has thousands of bumblebees in there, thousands of honeybees in there, so they can actually sort of, like, you know, if they sting something and leave their barb behind, the barb sting behind, they die. That's not going to affect the hive much. Whereas in a bumblebee nests are a lot smaller. You're only looking at to start with, you know, a few, and then a few dozen, and then up to into 3 figures, but no more than that. You're not looking at the thousands that you'd get in a honeybee hive in a bumblebee nest. So that it doesn't make sense for them to sting and then die, because that could actually, if enough of them did that, it would only take a small number to do that to actually have quite a detrimental effect on the nest and looking after the next generation. So they've evolved to be able to sting but not have a barb on their sting, therefore they survive once they've stung something. So that's this week's wildlife myth busted. Bumblebees don't die after they sting you, ordinarily, unless they've been squished. Right, well, that's my wildlife year, week 37, done over and done with. Looking forward to week 38. Got a busy week next week. Got 3, 4 bat walks during the week, and other sort of stuff in there is in the mix as well. Not sure how much of the bat walks will make it into the actual video, weekly video. I'm also considering doing either a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live bat walk. I'm still in two minds about that. Other thing I've got coming up is next Wednesday at 9 AM. The booking's closed for my oil pellet analysis workshop, which is still booking's still open at the moment until Wednesday the 29th of September, I think it is. So if you're interested in that, check out the links in my bio. And yeah, looking forward to next week, getting out and about and actually doing stuff face to face with people, even if it is from a bit of a distance. So looking forward to that. So I'll see you next week for my wildlife year, week 38. Take care, keep enjoying the wildlife, stay safe.